Hello! Welcome to your Food Freedom Foundations course. I'm Natalie Forsyth, and I am here to teach you the proven tools to stop binge eating and start living. I am so glad that you made this important choice for yourself to take a stand and get the support that you need to find freedom from your out-of-control eating. I am truly honored that you have chosen me as your teacher. My life's mission is to support thousands upon thousands of people to create freedom from their eating struggles and to start living the lives that they have actually been so hungry for all along. This became my sole focus in life after I experienced the incredible fountain of joy, love, pleasure, and peace that I began to experience once I broke free from the chains of my disordered eating behaviors. The incredible difference in my own life experience drove me to create these teachings for you. The profound transformations that my students continuously undergo keeps me dedicated to this work, and I am excited to count you in their number. May I hear of your own stories of profound change soon. So, as I teach you these proven tools, please always remember that I have been there. I know so well what it is like to be stuck in the throes of out-of-control eating. I remember what it was like to be on that freight train to binge land where it seemed like there was no other option but to spiral out of control into that same familiar pattern. I remember waking up the next morning after a big binge feeling terrible, my stomach aching and my mind replaying over and over again what a failure I was. I felt drenched in shame and overwhelmed because I didn't know how to get out. But I knew there must be a way, so I looked for help. I tried a whole bunch of different things, just like I'm sure you have. Some of them helped a bit, others not at all. Everything really started to change for me when I found the science of behavior change. I learned the simple and proven tools and I began practicing. And I'm so grateful to say that I immediately started to feel changes and that within half a year, I felt like a totally different person. I broke the incessant cycle of binge, purge, shame, and I found joy in life for the first time in a long time. To be frank, my mind was blown. I had been looking for the answers for so long, and it ultimately was pretty simple. It was all about practicing the tools over time with a structure of accountability and community to help me stay focused and dedicated. It was on a dream trip that I took to Bali. I took it to celebrate the incredibly life-changing and sustained recovery that I was experiencing in my eating patterns. And it was while I was on this trip that my life's work became clear. I can remember exactly where I was sitting in this relaxed open-air restaurant. It had these purple draping ceiling decorations. And I was reflecting on how much I had changed and ultimately how straightforward the process was. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that it was easy. It was hard at times. And it was painful at times. It took consistency and practice, but it wasn't rocket science, nor was it some esoteric magic. The way I achieved my freedom was very practical. It was all about implementing the proven tools and experiencing the incremental shifts. It was at that moment in that lovely cafe in Bali that it hit me like a bolt of lightning that I would dedicate my life to helping people to find the freedom that I had created for myself. I knew at that moment that this would be my life's work, and I have been dedicated ever since to do so. I already had a degree in psychology, but I went on and got further education and training as a certified intuitive eating counselor with the founder of the intuitive eating model, Evelyn Tribole. I became an international certified coach after training at the Coaches Training Institute, and I attended the professional program in eating and weight disorders at the UC Berkeley Extension. Not to mention the library of books and the hundreds of hours of podcasts that I have used to self-educate on all things eating struggles, behavior change, mindfulness, and life fulfillment. I crafted the curriculum that you're going to learn from the most well-respected and researched treatment modalities and models. You're following in the footsteps of so many students whom I've taught before you. Having led so many people through this process, I am confident that if you practice the tools, you will watch your life change for the better. Sound like a plan? All right, so here we go. Now you get to learn the proven tools and change your life one action and one thought at a time. It might not be rocket science, but it is neuroscience. These tools will actually create new pathways in your neurology, one action at a time. The next 7 classes in this course are going to teach you the tools that you must have to lay the groundwork for this change in your life. These are the essential first tools that you must practice and implement. If you're in the longer course, you're going to learn many, many more tools. But I promise this, if you do not practice the tools in this course first, the rest won't make anywhere near as much sense. Nor can I be confident that it will be effective in creating the behavior change you seek. It is like learning a new language. You must learn the basic building blocks of the vocabulary and grammar before you can learn how to conjugate verbs in the past participle tense. Do I have any language nerds out there? That one was for you. Before we jump into the first tool, I want to make sure we are all on the same page about the basics. So in the rest of this class, we're going to look at the most common reason that most people binge. You've probably heard me teach this before if you participated in my free class, but please be sure to listen all the way through. If I know one thing about how we learn, it is through repetition. I will purposefully repeat specific concepts throughout our classes together. I am so confident that each time you hear about the same concept, you will gain a deeper and more thorough understanding. So trust me, I'm doing it on purpose. All right, let's get to it. Dieting is the gateway drug to binge eating. So many people who are struggling with out-of-control eating issues feel like they need to restrict what they're able to eat because otherwise they will go off the deep end and eat everything in the store. People get stuck in extremes. They're dieting by restricting the food they're eating and they're doing great at it. I say great in quotes. And then they have a bad day, they get stressed, and they end up binging on all the food they weren't supposed to eat on their diet. And they yo-yo back and forth between the two extremes. Or maybe they don't let themselves ever eat cookies, not even one, because once they have one, they have no other choice but to eat the whole box. I know that I was stuck in this swing in the course of one day. I'd restrict in the morning, sticking to my idea of a healthy diet until my willpower would break and I would swing the other way and I would binge on all the chips and chocolate I could get my hands on. Restricting what you eat leads you to eat in a way that feels out of control. What happens when you pull a pendulum up to one side and you let it go? It will swing forcefully and consistently over to the other side. This is exactly what happens when you restrict your eating. Whether you are using a strict diet and meal plan for how you're eating according to your conception of a healthy lifestyle, if you're eating in this way, where you're purposefully restricting yourself from certain things using your willpower, ultimately that willpower will break and the restriction will swing radically over to binge. The more intensely you restrict, the more intensely the pendulum will swing to feeling totally out of control and crazy. So if you are really struggling with out of control eating, we need to look not only at those out of control moments, but we also really need to look at the times and the places where you are trying to control your eating, because it is all part of the same cycle. Throughout this foundations course, as well as in the longer course, you're going to learn the tools to actually help you in the moments when you feel inclined to binge. What I hope you take away from this class is the fact that we need to take a bigger view of how you're thinking about food and how you are eating. Not only when it feels out of control, but also in the times when you feel like you're in control and really succeeding at it. Ultimately, if you're in control because you are using your willpower, the pendulum will always swing. Something in life will always happen. The reality is that we are never in control, but we are always in choice. It's a totally natural human inclination to try to control what isn't working in your life. If we can just control, then we'll be okay. But the truth of the matter is that we actually don't really have any control over what happens in life. Life is going to happen, the hard things, the beautiful things, and we don't have control. But what we do have is our ability to choose. What we can learn is how to choose to respond to what happens in this wild and crazy life. We are never in control, but we are always in choice. So whether you're controlling your eating because it seems like one of the few things in life you can control, or you are a total perfectionist that must get everything right, controlling everything around you, I want to support you to shift your mentality from trying to control everything in your life to instead cultivating your capacity to be in choice about how you respond to life. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you tools how to do it, but that is our goal. So let's do a little physical exercise together to illustrate this a bit more. Start by gripping your fists together. Make a really tight fist to the point that it hurts. Now, take care of your body. Don't do anything that's going to actually hurt yourself, but to the point that it's uncomfortable. And then pull your arms into your chest and tighten everything. Oh gosh, it's uncomfortable, right? This doesn't feel good. Are you really doing it? Do it. This is what it is to try to control everything in life. It's not gonna work. And then unfurl your hands and unfurl your arms. Take a deep breath and release all of that tension. This is what it feels like to choose. If you would rather feel like this in your relationship with how you choose what you eat, then keep learning with me. That's what we're going to do. When we are using control, we are using willpower. What we need to do is to cultivate the capacity to make an empowered choice. In the longer course, I teach all about the 3 components that make up empowered choice. In this foundations course, you're going to learn the first place to start. The way we cultivate our capacity to choose is by practicing different awareness skills. If you aren't aware, you will keep automatically thinking or doing what you have always done. In order to choose, you need to be aware of your thoughts, your body, and your actions. In order to grow your ability to be aware, I am teaching you 3 really important tools in this course. You will learn how to take a sensation snapshot in class 4. This is a powerful and simple way to increase your awareness. And let me tell you, practicing the sensation snapshot is going to be essential in your journey to food freedom. Really, the most important tool. You must do it. In class 5, you're going to learn how to use your hunger, satisfaction, and fullness levels to teach you how to start using your awareness of these body signals to help you choose what, how much, and when to eat. And then in class 6, you're going to learn the most powerful tool that I know to work through an emotional moment without eating. It is all about choosing to focus your mind on the physical sensations of your body instead of getting on the hamster wheel of your thoughts. That hamster wheel always makes your emotions worse. Each of these 3 tools will teach you the skills that you need to increase your awareness, which will help you to be able to make empowered choices about your eating. This awareness is going to be the key to what helps you to get off the pendulum swing between the extremes, and instead to be able to stand strong and clear in your own empowered choice. And trust me when I say this is an amazing feeling. I can't wait for you all to experience it. But before you start the awareness tools, you need to start at class 2, where I will teach you about what you need to do to build a strong foundation underneath you. It is the essential first step. So go ahead, start the next class, and I will teach you about the proven way to build that strong foundation. Then you can go on to the other classes from there. I recommend that you watch each of the next 7 classes all at once. And then, over the course of the next week, go back each day and rewatch one of the classes. We learn through repetition, accountability, and practice. I can't wait to help you to learn these proven tools. All right, I'll see you in the next video.